Hi guys, it's Siobhan. Welcome to another video. So I have a load of markers. So many markers. We're gonna compare them all and see which ones are best, how with price they compare. So let's get started. These are the Spectra's AD markers. They're an alcohol-based marker with a brush tip and a chisel tip. This pack was £38 for 24 basic colours, and then these were £22 for 12. These are the touch wall markers. You get them for 70 for something like 25 to £40. These are also an alcohol-based marker. They have a chisel nib and they have a bullet nib. They don't have a brush marker. These are a water-based marker. You get 100 for £50. This is the brush nib, and then the other nib is like a fine liner. Okay, so the colours are all maxed up. Let's do some swatching first to work out how they work. Okay, so immediately when I'm using these, I love this brush nib. Wow, it really does go nicely on the paper, doesn't it? So I'm using these on some Winsor & Newton marker paper. So this is the Hobbycraft one. This is the other brush nib. So this brush nib feels softer, but I don't like that actually, because I feel like I have less control. And you can see that this one's definitely not an alcohol marker because it doesn't dry like the other one. It doesn't feel as nice as those ones. If you can hear a load of noise, it's because my cats are going mad in the background. So immediately these feel so much worse when you've used a brush marker. Feel so scratchy. We'll use the chisel nib as well. Oh, this is a nice chisel nib. Oh, it's got like lots of different sides to the chisel so that you can do different stuff with it, I guess. That's nice. This one doesn't have a chisel nib. This has this fine liner. It's nice to have the fine liner on the end, but if I was going to use a fine liner, I'd just buy a fine liner, and then this is the chisel nib on this. See, this one is so much fatter and it is just flat, whereas this one has a sort of like lots of angles to it so you can do different stuff. Oh, that doesn't feel as nice. Okay, so I'm going to carry on with this. I'm going to get Blaze, my editor, to speed it up for me. Let's go. Okay, let's talk about our findings a little bit. I made a bit of a mess up here and used the wrong markers. It was quite interesting, really. The colours don't look that different. When you're up here, these colours are basically the same, but when you get down to here, these are quite different and these are quite different, but it's hard to match them up because these only have numbers. These have numbers and names. If you have a look, they're 70 royal blue, and these don't have anything. So that's quite interesting. One thing you can see about these is these ones, when they dry, it sort of takes away the lines quite a bit. If you layer them up, it does it better, but you can see, and you can get more of a variation of lines. These come out quite messy. It's hard to see on the camera, but they really do come out quite messy. These are a mixed batch. Some of the colours come out really flat, which is good. You know, you don't see the lines. Some come out different. Some I've hardly used and they are already running out of ink. This one here is quite heavily used, so that's running out of ink. As for colours, I'm pretty happy with all of them, apart from this one. This is meant to be a grey, but it's coming out weird, so that's a weird one. But yeah, so the swatches look pretty good. Let's try some blending. Okay, so the pro with alcohol markers is they blend, and let's see how well they do that. I'm gonna pick two colors to blend. Okay, I'm gonna do a dark green, which with the Spectra ADs is a 49, and a lighter green, which is a 67. Let's have a go with these. So when you blend, you sort of put down a base color and then you put down your lighter color, and what you have to do is you have to go over the lighter color, the darker color, or whatever color you're blending with the lighter color. It spreads, as you can see. That doesn't look very good at the moment, but when you add the lighter color over it again, it does something weird to the markers and it takes off the color and provides a really nice blend. So these are blending quite nicely. Never actually blended on this paper and they're coming up a little bit wet, so I'm going to try on this paper. So this is this Winsor & Newton paper. This one is meant to be bleed proof, and so far actually it's not going through. This one is a mixed media paper, so this is probably going to go through. That's why I've got a protective board on my desk so I don't don't ruin my nice white desk. Let's see how they look on here as well. Okay, so it's kind of soaking into this paper, whereas this one is just sort of sitting on the top. The blend actually, now it's dried, it looks quite good. I'm quite happy with that sort of gradient, but let's see how they go on these. So on this paper it seems to be working a lot better actually. So that looks really nice. Okay, so we'll try again on this one because it might be just me doing it wrong. We'll do the lighter color first, and then we will do the darker color. Then we're going to do the lighter color over the top of the darker color. So another good thing with alcohol markers is once they've been laying a little while, even if you have a drawing you've done weeks ago, you can actually reactivate it. So when you put the alcohol back on, you can add stuff and it reactivates and blends with the markers. But with normal markers, you can't do that. I don't think you can really blend either without it just killing the paper. Okay, so actually I'm surprised because this one I thought would work better with the markers, but this one seems to blend more, but the colors do seem duller, whereas this, the colors come out. So that's interesting. Those are the Spectras. They blend really well. I'm really happy with those. Let's try these. I've got two greens here. We're going to do the same again. We're going to put on our light green. These are completely different colors from the other ones because I don't actually have ones that match this. Or I might do, but I can't find them in the box. Now immediately I'm seeing on this paper these are actually bubbling, and I think that's because they are not alcohol markers. It is blending actually, kind of, but it's also eating the paper. Whereas these went on flat, the paper's just, it's bleeding through and the paper's just really not enjoying it. You can also see now that these have dried, they look a lot better. When they were wet, they looked a bit smudgy, but they look a lot better in the dry. Let's do it on this paper, see if it makes a difference. We'll do the light. It's coming up sort of the same as that paper actually. They do sort of blend, but there's no clear gradient really. They kind of just blend into the same color. But I think that's because they're water-based markers. Also, they're kind of blending. It's a weird one. They're blending, but there's no... Whereas with these ones, you can clearly see that's where it starts and that's where it ends. You know, that's that color and that's that. It's smooth, but you can see the lighter and darker. Whereas these, it's not as clear. They're just sort of really muddy and they really are... Even with the mixed media paper, it's just destroying it. So that's interesting. I think that's because they're water-based markers, to be fair. I think they're always going to do that. The weird thing with that is these are drying really smoothly and this is just drying quite muddy and streaky. That's another thing that doesn't quite go to their favor, which is disappointing. Now let's try these ones. We're going to go for a dark green and a light green. Let's try it on the marker paper first. Oh, well, I'm doing dark first apparently. Immediately using the bullet nib after the brush nib. I really prefer using the brush nib, but for the price, what you get is what you get, I suppose. I'm having a bit of trouble blending these. Maybe if I use the chisel nib. Okay, that's better. I'm going to use the chisel nib with these because it's harder to sort of blend it with the bullet nibs. Okay, these actually blend really nicely. Yeah, they blend nice. I think the best thing with blending, as I'm proving first person, is to put down the lighter color first. It's probably really obvious, but I don't know. Okay, so not that it's anything to do with the paper, this video. I'm noticing that these, on this paper, it kind of blends in instantly. This, it doesn't. It sort of slowly blends and then dries. I would say the best blend by far is definitely these ones. These do kind of blend now they're dried, but it's messy, and if you blend a bunch of colors, it's just gonna kill the paper. And these blend really well as well, but you don't get the same quality as these. So that's something that's worth thinking about. But all in all, I'd say they all work really well. So if you can't afford to get these ones, then I'd say that these are a good substitute, really, if you're wanting to blend. These ones, it depends what you're wanting to do. If you don't think you're gonna be doing a lot of this kind of thing, then these ones would work absolutely fine. You get the brush nib, so really these are a similar price. You get more of these, more color variations, but to be honest, with using these colors, I've noticed that even with all of the color variations you get with these, they're kind of just the same as these. So yeah, what we're going to do now is I'm going to do a drawing and we're going to color different parts of the drawing with the different pens.